The Seahawks have had an eventful few weeks, trading Geno Smith, signing Sam Darnold, trading DK Metcalf, signing Cooper Kupp. Here is a mock draft, and I'll explain everything that went into this that will make them competitive next season, 10 plus wins. First, let's start at 18. Now, obviously, Luther Burden was there. That would be another good pick. Obviously, they're going to take another receiver. They have to, right? Like, I still think MVS is fine. Obviously, Jake Bobo is fine, but you need a third wide receiver. You need a difference maker. Because Kupp and, of course, JSN, they play similarly in the sense where they can both play the slot. They could use Kupp a little differently if they want, make him more of a downfield guy. JSN probably should stay in the slot because he's so excellent there. He plays a lot like Amon-Ra. Regardless, Kelvin Banks makes a lot of sense. He can play guard right away. Their interior offensive line is their biggest issue. It still is, and he can play guard. You can move him to tackle eventually, but he can play guard. And worst comes to worst, like I said, round 3, Tate Ratledge should be available. Jared Wilson in round 3, probably unlikely. I think he's going to go a little higher than that. But even let's say you go Kelvin Banks, and then in round 2 you go Jared Wilson. I think there's a lot there that you can work with because they need a center and a guard, and you get Ratledge in round 3. Let's just keep that right there, regardless of Alec Ayumanor and Prince Ali right there. Now, the reason why I went Kelvin Banks there and then Alec is because I'm like, Alec is a downfield guy. I mean, he can create separation at a high rate. He's pretty big, 6'2", 6'3". He can be a vertical threat. He doesn't drop passes, so it makes a lot of sense there. And they obviously need an edge rusher. A few edge rushers would be nice. You could see I also got the edge rusher from Syracuse later in this draft as well in round 7. Who knows if he'll actually be there. PFF that hasn't really updated a lot of rankings. Like they still have Ty Robinson in round 7, which I didn't even try to draft him in this one because I'm like, Ty Robinson's going round 2 or 3. He's not going round 7. There's certain things that are ridiculous about this. Like Jared Wilson's probably not going to be there in round 3, like I mentioned. Denzel Burke, I think, is a sleeper later in the draft. I think he's going to fall. And the reason why here I went Dante Thornton is because 6'5" guy who ran the 4.3, right? 40 time. So this is a guy who's really fast, can be a vertical threat downfield, someone else that they need, right? They need multiple receivers in this draft still, in my personal opinion, and multiple edge rushers, and of course, multiple guards/tackles. We accomplish all of that there, and also get a tight end in Mitch Evans for some depth there, and a safety in Malachi Moore. So I really think this is an A-plus draft for the Seahawks. Now, of course, getting Jared Wilson in round 3, like I said, it's probably unlikely. Let's say they go another route and get somebody else that can play guard or center, right? Like you could even take Jonah Monaheim later in the draft. That would make a lot of sense. You don't even need to go center there, really, because I think Monaheim's super underrated and will fall. But regardless, this is how you build the Seahawks into a contender next season. It can still happen. There's a lot of people, and look, trust me, I'm not a Seattle fan by any means. I'm a Niners fan. I don't like Seattle, but this is what I would do if I was their GM. Who are you guys targeting in the draft, Seattle Seahawks fans? And let me know what you guys think the Seahawks should do in the comments, and follow me for more NFL draft content like this. I'll be doing this for every single team until we get to the draft.